What is this? Who put this on my bike? It fits. It fits. How do I look? Does it look very good? Oh, it's not made for wide noses. That's okay. We'll just do what we can do, I guess. It's gonna have to fit. Should I trim it out from the inside? How do I make this work? So the first question, what made me get into my careers? Very good question. I think that over the years, God has continually put me in places that would form me to be able to carry the weight of the next season that I'm in. And so through the military, that was something I needed to do to prove to myself, to my family, to the people around me, that I had value. That's what I needed for myself. And from there, I realized how much I really love helping people. And I wanted to transition into the role of firefighter because I really wanted to be closer to helping people and to be nearer to my family. After becoming a firefighter, I got into ministry and business entrepreneurship, where I had a little bit more control over how I got to help people and a little bit more contact with the people who needed it most. So that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And the common thread between all of those things is that people who need help, I get to go and do that. I was in the military for 8 years, and then I was a firefighter for right around 7. And right after that, I was an entrepreneur and in ministry for the last few years, 3 to 4 years. My favorite verse of all time is 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2, and it goes like this. Preach the word. Be ready in season and out of season. Rebuke, correct, and encourage with great patience and teaching. And that is what inspires this bullet necklace that I wear around my neck. I wear that so I can encourage people to be ready to share the gospel, always to be ready, because we only get one shot and we have to use it wisely. One moment in my life where God shifted my perspective on everything is when I was at a job that I really loved. I was helping people, but my attention wasn't on God. And so God let me go through a season of isolation where the people that I had placed around me was the value that I had placed in myself. And I was looking at God's character through the people around me instead of at God himself. And so God let me go through a desert season of being alone and being isolated at this place that I really loved. And it became a place I didn't love as much until I learned to focus on him. When I learned to focus on him, it changed my perspective about everything and everyone around me. It changed who God was in my life. He wasn't just an all-powerful God. He was now a very personal God. He was a God deserving of awe and reverence and glory. He was my friend, and he was my provider. He was my healer, and he was my guide. He was my banner. God was everything to me in that season. And so that's how he changed my perspective. I think this is such an interesting question because happiness in itself, to me, isn't super important. But happiness is a way for us to judge what our heart longs for. And so when we ask ourselves this question, what does my heart truly desire? Sometimes that's hard to answer because our heart doesn't speak. The things that come out of our mouth will reflect what's in our heart, but our heart directly won't just tell our brain, this is what you want. So I believe that happiness is a way to measure what our heart really desires. Happiness is a tool that each of us can use to learn how to implement joy into our lives. It's also a tool to learn how to self-diagnose and remove some of those things that shouldn't be making our heart happy. And so happiness in itself, while it's great, it's a fleeting characteristic. But things like joy, peace, love, and patience, those things can be produced by the search for happiness. And so that's my answer on that. I know it's a little vague and layered, but happiness in itself for me is not the end all be all. It's just a way to get to where God wants us to be. Hey, thank you for tuning in and watching this week's video of the Clown Nose Club with me, Joshua. I hope that I was able to bring a little bit of inspiration, some encouragement to your life, and I hope to see you soon. From Zeal Church, I want to nominate Lily Adkins, Nicole Womble, and Faith Becker. I'll see you on the next one.